All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at LIV Golf UK by JCB. We're thrilled to welcome the defending team champions, Legion 13, captained by Jon Rahm, who also captured the individual title here last year at JCB. We're also joined by Tom McKibben, Caleb Surratt, and Terrell Hatton. Jon, I'll start with you. Welcome back to JCB. Your win here last year was your first individual LIV Golf title. What memories stand out most from that week for you? And how motivated are you to defend that title this time around?
In a weird way, it's always going to be a bittersweet memory, because I don't know if there's been many cases where two teammates have gone at each other to win the individual title and then go to win the team title as well, and you never want to see a teammate and a friend make a mistake on the last to win. So again, in a weird way, as much as I like that I won here, is not something I can celebrate in that sense, just because it was such an unusual circumstance. But it's one of those things that happen in LIV, right? And as we get better, as the league get better, I think it's something that's going to happen more and more often. But as first timers having to deal with that, it was certainly not fun. I can say that, because then I get the individual win, then we're on the podium together. Right, it's we're celebrating the team, and obviously he's going to be upset that he didn't get it done as well individually. So I think it would have been slightly awkward either way for one of us. And again, as wonderful as it was, and as well as I played, still not something that I remember in the same light as other victories.
Terrell, this is a home fixture for you. As Jon said, you were the runner-up last year. What was the fan support like for you this time last year, and how much are you looking forward to feeding off that energy again this year?
Yeah, the crowds were brilliant last year. I think certainly all the players enjoyed having that atmosphere to play in, and I'm sure this year will be no different. There'll be a lot of support out there, and for me personally, I've got family and friends coming, so obviously looking forward to playing in front of them and hoping that I can play well. It'd be nice to go one spot better than last year, but yeah, that will be a tough ask, but hopefully, as I said, hopefully I can play well.
Tom, you're one of the new stars to join the league this season. Just after your first season, you've had 3 team wins. You've been on the podium 6 times. How would you rate your season as a whole and being part of this Legion 13 team?
The season's been great. Going into the start of it, I didn't really know too much what to expect. I'd obviously watched a lot of it, but to be part of sort of a team environment and something that was different to me has been a lot of fun, and to be able to play with these guys and play with some other amazing players has been really cool this year. And it's been great to be a part of it, and sort of a little bit sad that the season's ending soon.
Caleb, last one from me. Legion 13's coming off a huge team win at LIV Golf Andalusia, and you're now topping the team standings. How much momentum did that win give you heading into this final stretch of events of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely does. I think we're a team that, when all 4 players play our best, I don't think there's many teams that can beat us. I don't think we've had a week where all 4 of us have played our best. So I think from a team perspective, I think if we just all keep doing the right things, and trying to peak for the team championship in Michigan would be ideal. Individually, I think I've been getting a lot better. I finished very strong at the last event on the last few holes, so I was pretty proud of that. But, just got to continue to do the right things, and I'll get where I need to be.
Great. Let's open it up to media. Go ahead, Ben.
Just one for Jon. The Ryder Cup was confirmed that it's going to be in Spain in 2031. I wondered your thoughts on that and the possibility of following Jose Maria Olazabal, and obviously Sergio was the captain in '97. How exciting it is to be part of a Ryder Cup in Spain.
I certainly hope I'm not captain in 31.
No, so being part of the Ryder Cup.
I'll probably be the youngest captain ever in European team. It would be absolutely incredible to not only to continue playing Ryder Cups, but to be a part of one and play in one at home. yeah, I don't think I can describe it. I mean, both Paris and Rome were so incredibly special that to think of playing one in Spain, I really couldn't put it into words. And knowing that, some things smooth over in the world of golf, that Sergio could possibly be the captain of the Ryder Cup team, that's what also adds to it. I really don't know I wouldn't know how we feel. There is certainly some pressure that comes with it, but it truly would be a dream come true, right? I think there was, that I can remember, 4 Spanish people that were involved in that Ryder Cup, with Sevi, Miguel was a vice captain, Oli playing, and then Nacho Garrido playing as well. So it's only 4 people that can say they've done that, and I don't know how many players can say they've ever played a Ryder Cup in their home countries. Not many. So it's besides the US team, obviously, but it'll be unbelievable. I'm very happy that it's happened. I'm hoping that somehow or another I can be a part of it.
Hey Tom, just going back to the Open last weekend, obviously missing the cut was disappointing, but just wondering, did you get to see the crowds that were following Rory, particularly on the Sunday? Like it was just feverish, like a Ryder Cup, and with the Open set to maybe come to Portmarnock or Portrush again, you'll be in your prime at that stage when it comes around. How much would you love to experience something like that and be the main event at a home Open?
No, I didn't see the stuff on Sunday, but I obviously seen it the first couple of days. On the Friday, I think he was finishing up when we were on the 12th or 13th, so you could obviously see them from very far away, and the crowds were incredible. Last week it was something I hadn't seen before, and it was really good, the support that they showed everyone. I think Portmarnock's it's a great links course, probably one of the best in the country, and it's a very sort of special place, special golf club with a lot of history, and it's a very sort of pure form of golf. So I think, as all the rumours are, the Open there would be pretty cool, and to sort of have two Open venues on the island would be pretty cool.
And just on the Ryder Cup going to Spain in 2031, is it on your radar to have made a team by that time? I'd love to be a part of Ryder Cups and things like that. But again, it just depends, just sort of how everything is and how my golf game is by then or before then. Obviously, you've got the one in Adair Manor in 2027, so I'd love to try and get to be a part of that, and just keep trying to play the best I can to work towards those.
Question for Terrell. You've had a strong year in the majors this year. With Ryder Cup points up for grabs, was there an added incentive, to maybe go up a level in the majors for you this year?
Well, you always want to play well in the majors, but I guess this year they had even more of an importance for me. It's part of why I think Sunday's round for me was so disappointing. It would have been nice to finish as high as possible, to try and lock up being an automatic pick, but whereas now the guys that are playing the FedEx, they've got 3 events to overtake me, and the points are all pretty close between 2nd and 7th. But the US Open was a standout in terms of performance-wise, but it was nice to be a little bit higher up on the leaderboards this year. But I haven't done anything different to achieve that. It's just you still go out there and try your best. So yeah, this year was marginally better. Hopefully next year will be even better.
And we've seen a couple of weeks ago that the league had gone for an application to the world rankings again. With the majors and things like that, how important is that for you and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys out here that you certainly want to be playing in majors, and if there's a better pathway for that for us, then that's brilliant. there's a lot of guys out here. Their current world ranking doesn't really reflect the type of golfer that they are, and I think I'd like to think everyone sat in here would agree with that statement. So I guess the sooner the world rankings can become a little bit more realistic again, the better it is for golf.
I would actually have a follow-up to that, because in a world in which you guys haven't been getting points, how have you measured yourself? Are there other ranking systems you've looked at? This could be from anybody on the podium there. Just, is it stats? Is it data golf? Where have you kind of looked to see like the progress you're making?
I'm going to start off this by saying that I have my disagreements with the world ranking system before I ever joined LIV. I already thought it was flawed before I ever came, and I was vocal about it. So I think the last few years, even the world ranking itself and both data golf do a strokes gain ranking, and I think that much more reflects who truly is playing the best, because the actual points being a 2-year ranking, right? You can have a poor week or a poor 3 weeks that will hold you down for 2 whole years, right? So it's crazy how you can actually finesse a little bit of the system by playing certain weeks and not playing certain weeks and things like that. So it's always going to be somewhat accurate, but not the most. And I think strokes gained usually is going to be the better representation of how truly everybody's playing, right? And data golf and world ranking, they both have their own version. I think they're somewhat similar for the most part, right? I mean, give and takes from the players, but if you're top 10 in one, you're most likely going to be top 10 in the other one as well. So it's like the order might change a little bit, but I think it's a fair representation of where everybody's at.
Even for the younger guys, how have you kind of measured yourself? Because I guess in a world 5 years ago, you could have been like, man, I am moving up the world rankings. Has there been a mechanism that you've kind of looked at to say, I feel like I'm progressing here, or this is where I want to be?
I guess for me, I haven't really dropped like significantly so much, because it's only my first year, and I've been lucky to play events as well that have had points, so I haven't really looked at too many other things yet. I think it was maybe hard for me anyway, because the points that I was getting when I was playing it was hard to move anyway. So I haven't seen too much. Sort of, obviously I've dropped a bit, but nothing too crazy, and haven't really looked at anything. As John said, I've looked at data golf and things like that, but I haven't really stressed over it too much yet.
Yeah, I've been monitoring. I've set kind of little goals for myself. I mean, I'm in a bit of a different boat. I've only played 6 or 7 events as a professional that count towards world golf ranking, and gone up over 2,000 spots. So, yeah, a big goal for the end of the last year, world golf ranking wise, for me was to get inside the 200, and I played well and finished top 3 in 3 international series events, and yeah, I got to like 250. So moved up a lot, especially on data golf too. So moving forward, especially as I started to look into Ryder Cups and majors in my future career, it's definitely going to be important. But, I think the next step for me is qualifying for the majors, performing well in them, and, continuing to travel the world and take advantage of the opportunities that I'm given.
And then a hard pivot. John, I'm curious about YouTube golf for you. I know Bryson mentioned that at one point you went to talk to him to try to get a grasp of, should I make my own YouTube channel? I'm curious if you could remember that moment and like what you were trying to find out, maybe what Bryson told you, and how you kind of decided, maybe not for me right now.
I've talked to quite a few people, Bryson being one of them. At that point, the first and only player to have gone that route. I talked to him in Nashville last year, and he gave a little bit of his ideas. I've talked to Phil since then. I've talked to Grant Horvat. I've talked to Wesley Bryan, and it's mainly come through the support I've gotten when I've done videos with them, and people saying how good they think I would be. And and I do love it, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy putting different parts of myself out there. The main argument, and I can't stress this enough, against doing it is that I just don't think I would have the time to balance family, golf, and YouTube, right? I do have 3 young kids. At some point, I just don't think I would have the time to do it. It would be too much of a sacrifice of either me practicing or family time. And as in right now, that's not something I'm willing to do. Right? In Bryson's case, no kids. He has all the time in the world to do whatever he needs to do. Phil, his kids are all graduated from college, right? They're all living their own lives. He has the time to do what he needs to do. So me being in the middle, I feel like I would have to choose 2 of the 3, and this 2 I'm not willing to give up, so that's the main reason why I haven't done it. As in right now, I'm perfectly happy appearing on channels. I'm perfectly happy playing with those guys and, in a way, getting exposed to their audience. But I don't know if I would yet find the energy in me to try to find the time to do a channel myself. But just something that's in my mind because I enjoy it.
John, you were talking about how difficult it was last year with Terrell, and I'm just curious, how has your relationship changed or maybe matured with Terrell since being teammates here these last 2 years?
Has it changed at all?
Grown?
Tell you one thing, the one thing we've learned about each other is gotten to know a lot more our taste on wine. Like at first it's like you like it, I like it too, but then you just get to know like, okay, what do you like? And so that's been a bit more profound. You get to know each other a little bit more. One thing about both of us is that as much as we may act on the golf course, we're not afraid to make fun of each other or make fun of ourselves. So we've shared a few laughs about things we may have done on the course. They get to laugh as well because they don't do that. So it's it's a good time for everybody. But I think like any other friendship in general, just get to know each other a little bit better. And it's a balance, right? Because spend a lot of great time together, but we also want to beat each other. And when we're playing together, it's glaringly obvious that we want to beat each other, but we don't say it, right? But it is what it is. So it's a friendly competition as well within things, and that's why I think it works so well as well.
And Terrell, kind of the same question. Actually, you talked about the 3 Guinness rule last week. Are you trying to get Jon into more Guinness drinking?
He said he doesn't like beer, so...
I tried it last week. I don't like it. No. I wish I did. I truly wish. I feel left out. Like when you finish playing and somebody can just relax and have a beer, it just... I don't know. I feel like you can't always go to a pub and be like, oh, I need my glass of wine, and just you know what I mean? I just feel left out.
Probably not the place to say you don't like Guinness, though, last week. You're not going to get a better pint than there, to be honest. But so I've lost track of the question. I'm just thinking of beer now.
Just describe how the relationship with Jon has grown or changed at all in these last 2 years as teammates.
Pretty much the same as what he said. I think just from naturally spending a lot more time together. Before we joined LIV, so we played a couple of Ryder Cups together. But if it was a regular tournament week, it wasn't like we were sort of doing practice rounds and going out for dinner and stuff. It's a bit more hectic. You've got your own team that you sort of travel with on those weeks and stuff. But just spending more time together, obviously playing around the world and practice rounds and everything like that. So naturally you just get closer, and it's been fun.
And Caleb, one last question from me. How would you describe the dynamic between Jon and Terrell? You've been there since day one as teammates.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're 2 people that are different in a lot of ways. I always forget that Terrell's older than Jon, as much as he's joking around. So I think the first time I was with Jon, I thought he was 40 years old. Before I really knew much, I asked him how old he was. But no, I mean,
I was 29, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to see two great players being such great friends. You know, Tom and I have become really good friends as well, kind of under them. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, but when you see them on the golf course competing against each other, you know, they're not friends. You know, they're eagerly trying to beat each other. And I think, you know, having that balance between friends and foes is really impressive. And you know, especially seeing what they've done on the Ryder Cup together and then how they bring it together on those weeks, and hopefully this year as well, is pretty impressive.
Thanks.
Any final questions?
Yeah, right here.
Tom, you obviously won at a really young age on the TP World Tour. How would you compare trying to win on that tour versus trying to win out here?
Yeah, a lot different. It's so hard to say. I mean, it's hard to win anywhere where you play. I think the standard sort of everywhere is very good. I think the thing over here that's hard is one less day. You really have to get off to a good first round. If you don't quite have it the first day, it's quite a lot of ground to make up for the last two. And then obviously the fields are strong here. You know, there's some incredible players, major champions. And I feel, for me personally, I feel like the golf courses have been a little harder. But overall, I think the main thing for me, or I've found, is the first, trying to get off to a good start so you don't have to sort of chase as much the last couple of days. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to win on the European Tour since then, so I think it's hard to win anywhere.
Back-to-back top five, do you feel like you're rounding into form here in the closing stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I think I started the year off quite nicely, and then sort of fell a little bit in the middle of the season, which was a little bit disappointing. And then the last couple of events have been really nice. I've seemed to play some lovely golf on quite difficult golf courses, which gives me a lot of confidence sort of going forward, and just sort of knowing that I can sort of post those finishes is really nice.
Thanks.
Just over here.
John, hi. Just to rewind back to the Ryder Cup question earlier, and you raised Sergio's name there as a possible captain. Do you think that is a job he's a venue made for each other?
Meaning in 31? I play the golf course. If we're talking just about the golf course.
I didn't phrase it very well, but is Sergio made for that job in 31?
In Spain? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the course. I played it so long ago. I don't remember. I remember the opening tee shot, and that's it. So, yeah, I think so. I think there's something to say about possibly having a local captain. Right? I think it would do wonders for the crowd. And if history shows us anything, and it's very hard to compare anybody to Seve, but I've only heard stories about what the Ryder Cup was like. So I would say, if possible, I think that's a very obvious good choice to have Sergio be part of that one.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck tomorrow.